Hello, this is Alf Keck. Welcome to ETS Avia, Emission Trading Scheme Compliance for your business aircraft, simplified. As you're no doubt already aware, the European Union has in place an emission trading scheme that now applies to aircraft operators. That's right, if you're an aircraft operator operating without a commercial operating certificate and making one or more flights to the European Union per year, this applies to you. You now need to track your fuel burn and payload data for all flights to, from, and within the European Union for the entire flight leg from departure to destination, regardless of where you're based. This starting now as of January 1st, 2010. Aviation is the first globally affected sector under the EU ETS, and you might be asking, is this really here to stay? Is this something I need to worry about? Well, if EU has its way, the EU ETS will be the basis for an OECD scheme as early as 2015. As you can see by this graphic, the EU ETS, which started in 2005, will enter its third and mature phase in 2012 and likely be the foundation for a North American ETS and an Asian ETS, and further over the horizon, the OECD integrated carbon markets. This is here to stay, it's big, and it's worth paying attention to. Now, what does this mean for me as an aircraft operator? Well, as if your business aircraft operations weren't complex enough, now you have to deal with new ETS compliance requirements. You have to register with the regulating agency. You have to file and have approved a monitoring plan that tracks your emissions. You need to then take that monitoring plan back to your operations, implement those processes, and track your emissions throughout the year. At the end of the year, you generate a report and have that verified by an independent third-party verifier. If this is done successfully, you enter the carbon markets, trade the number of carbon credits that you need to equalize, and submit both those credits and the report to the regulator before starting processes 3 through 6 again the following year. Now, this is the same if you fly 1 or 100 flights into the EU ETS. As you can imagine, this is time-consuming, complex, and can be costly. There are administrative costs associated with EU ETS compliance as well as carbon costs. Just looking quickly now at the administrative costs per year, you can expect to pay for filing fees for your monitoring plan. For the tracking of your data, you'll likely have an application depending on how complex that is. Verification, depending on the complexity of your operations, is a yearly expense, and access to the carbon markets is also yearly and quite expensive. You can expect anywhere from $25,000 to $75,000 worth of expenses for the administration of EU ETS. And then there's the carbon costs. So say, for example, a Global Express that emits 2,000 tons of carbon per year of operations. They can expect at the current market rate for carbon to spend about $38,000, which will increase as the price of carbon increases. Oh yeah, and there are penalties for non-compliance. Both financial penalties, you can expect a €100 per ton of carbon penalty on top of anything not submitted, as well as national penalties. Plus, operationally, they can suspend your operating certificate and impound your aircraft for non-payment. Ouch, you can imagine what that would feel like. Now, with that in mind, looking back at the carbon cost, you can imagine the same Global Express operator could expect to spend anywhere up to $270,000 if they're unable to comply. In terms of the operations cost, if you're looking at the pure carbon cost, that could be an extra 2% on top of your current annual operating costs. If you're unable to comply with the ETS, that's an extra 11%, bringing the potential total increase over your current operations up by about 13%. I don't need to tell you that inaction can be expensive under EU ETS. You're probably looking for an easy way out of this if possible. Well, at ETS Avia, we've built an easy compliance service to help, to allow you to focus on what you do best, which is operating aircraft. At the core of our service offering is our application Flight Tracker. Flight Tracker is built on the Force.com cloud platform. Force.com is used by more than 73,000 global companies and 1.5 million users. Companies like Dell, Siemens, Cisco, Sprint, Citigroup, Bank of America, and these global companies rely on the platform because of its reliability, its data security, its easy integration, comprehensive data auditing, and rich reporting and analytics, which provide them with a high performance and very reliable platform upon which to base their global operations. At ETS Avia and the Flight Tracker, we've leveraged these strengths together with our beta customer group and the work we've been doing with the large EU ETS verifier to ensure that the Flight Tracker will be pre-verified when it enters service in June of this year. Having a pre-verified flight tracker will allow us to offer a comprehensive suite of services to our operator customers based on standardized processes that are easy to use and allow us to reduce the administrative costs, the verification costs, and provide access to the carbon markets for our operators, at the same time improving regulatory relationships across the board. As we mentioned earlier, the trend is definitely towards a more complex integrated carbon market. Well, Flight Tracker was built with this in mind as well and is future ready. Now, what do we mean by future ready? Well, Flight Tracker will allow you to quantify your fleet emissions, even those beyond the EU ETS, and allow you to track and manage the carbon exposure of your operations. By doing this, that will allow easier compliance with future ETS systems as they come on stream. In short, Flight Tracker, built on the Force.com platform, is a pre-verified solution that provides comprehensive service and is future ready to enable you to easily manage your EU ETS compliance needs. We invite you to visit our Flight Tracker demo available at www.etsavia.com/flighttracker. ETS Avia, Emission Trading Scheme Compliance for your business aircraft, simplified.